I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it, I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do to prove there's strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify. The things that you believe in have to scream it like a battle cry, and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love. Those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug. Those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box they make of lives they know aren't good enough. Just because it's how it is don't mean it's how it has to be. This is what the uninspired testifiers fail to see. Jealousy results from being that which others fail to be, and if it means you're not with me, that honestly sounds fair to me.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Do this for my mother, she'll be working for the summer. Do this for my father, cause these days I often wonder what my life would have been like if I was not adopted. To grow up in a home where I was treated like a problem. I don't know, it's just a guess. Your guess probably good as mine. Lucky that I grew up in a home that wanted me to shine. Lucky that I grew up around some mountains we were taught to climb. Without that inspiration, I don't think that this would be my life. Do this for my friends who've scattered all across the country now. I'm out in Sweden walking back through life so I can write it down. Make a living off the sound, so crazy to say out loud. I'm the biggest thing since Travis Rice to come up out the town. Sorry, gotta stunt a little. Used to have my dreams belittled, but it's all a part of it. I know people's minds are fickle, lines between reality and dreams I blur like faded nights. Come up been so good for me, I wish that I could make it twice.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Hey, yo, shout out to my pops, man. I do this for you. What up, T? Thank you guys for being here. It is Wednesday. I'm still dealing with this cough. I'm trying to defeat it. But if it ever shows up in the middle of me talking, I apologize. Give me just a chance to catch my breath, and then we'll hit it really hard. Pause. If you're watching the live stream right now, yes, I'm in the corner up here. Really small picture. I want to thank you guys for being here on a hump day, on a Wednesday. Shout out to all the TikTokers watching. I will not be interacting with you. If you want to talk to us, come join the live stream. Then I will acknowledge you. YouTube, Rico Knows. It's that simple. I will answer your questions. We can talk and we can do great things. What a day, bro. Just to recap, last night, MVPs. Swimming in it, bro. Swimming in it. MVPs. We went 2-0 last night. Congratulations. We got both games right. We hit on a ton of props. Some things don't land when you do props, but the spread lands and the parlay landed. I said, let's parlay these two picks together for a plus 300. We did it. Hopefully 1,000 people did it, and everybody out there is swimming in it. Congratulations, MVPs. I know I went to bed feeling really good. You know, Kim goes to bed before me, and when I got to the room, I just said, hey, I did it. We hit. She looks at me and just goes, you always do it. And I said, thank you. She believes in me. She's my biggest fan. My biggest supporter. Shout out to her. She's making dinner right now. I think she's baking a chicken pot pie, like a real one, not that Stouffer shit you get from the oven and all that stuff. I think she's doing one from Costco, those really big ones. Dude, everything from Costco is really good, and I really believe in it. If you guys haven't had Costco lasagna, it's the bee's knees. If you haven't had all the Costco meals, they're real. I'm just letting you know. I don't work there. I'm not sponsored, but I'm just letting you know. Okay, so back to the world of sports. We're sitting here. We're dealing with this shit. Let's go. Dwight Howard denies sexual assault allegations, wants lawsuit dismissed. If you guys don't remember, there's a dude out there saying he was assaulted by Dwight Howard. Yes, we've heard this story before. There's been multiple men in this world claiming that this has happened. Dwight Howard keeps looking around going, what, me? It couldn't be me. I got news for you guys. Dwight Howard is so far from being on the DL. This dude is not on the DL at all. I don't believe the DL rumors at all. Because if you're on the DL, the down low, if you guys didn't know, that means you live an alternative lifestyle. You prefer someone of the same sex as you. It's a term used. We all say it. Keep it on the down low. That's not R. Kelly saying keep a secret. Keeping it on the DL means I date men, although I'm married. So just so you guys aren't aware, if you weren't aware of the context and the conversation. Dwight Howard is not on the DL. Because if you're on the DL, it's a secret. No one knows about it. Nope. This man is full-blown, lives a whole nother lifestyle. And everybody needs to stop denying it. And Dwight Howard needs to stop hiding from it and pretending like it doesn't happen. Now that we are aware that that is his chosen demographic, let's take it a step further and say that Dwight Howard is accused of being a predator, a habitual offender, a multiple offender. This is not the first time. Like if you heard Ben Roethlisberger sexually assaulted somebody in a bathroom in a bar, would you believe it? Why? Why? Why does it sound so plausible? Right? Let's think about that for a second. What if I told you Ray Rice punched a lady in an elevator? Would you believe it? At what point do you start believing it? I'm just curious. Maybe OJ. Maybe OJ went out and let two of his neighbors have it. Some reason. OJ, and we found a glove and a pair of shades. If you heard about it, would you believe it? Yeah, repeat offenders, it's really hard. Some people say, well, they target these guys because they've already been accused of this stuff, so it makes sense. No. Some of these guys are legitimately repeat offenders, and we got to figure it out. So he's claiming it didn't happen. Dwight Howard's claiming it didn't happen. I'm going to tell you guys, man, I have my own opinion. I have my right to have my own opinion. And I think Dwight Howard has more to gain from lying in this situation than telling the truth. Let me be very clear. I think he has more to gain from lying than telling the truth. The truth might be some form of relevancy here. Remember, Dwight Howard's last accuser was wild. You guys can go look it up. Go look it up. The accusers are wild. But it sounds very, very believable to me. That's all I'm saying. Nobody's letting Casey Anthony have kids. There's a reason. Other than that, that's the biggest one up here. I've known about that story for months. I made a video on it months ago. Wasn't surprised. I'm going to leave all this out. Here's what I'll say to you guys. A lot of people have been in my DMs today, sending me messages, writing comments. Rico, talk about this, talk about that, talk about this. The majority of you guys saying these things, you guys are into rumor culture, and I hate rumors. I think it's wasted energy. I think there's no point in talking about it. So why didn't I make a post about who's the kid, the running back, supposedly going to be getting traded? It's the NFL trade deadline coming up. Everybody's going to be talked about. Oh, what about this guy? What about this guy? Yeah, Derrick Henry. What about this? Dude, just stop, guys. I don't care. I'll talk about it after it happens, but not preemptively trying to guess whether or not it's going to happen. Tonight, that wimpy dude's playing basketball. If you want to watch something, go watch that Whataburger kid for the Spurs. Go watch him play some basketball. I'd prefer all you guys go and do that and leave me alone. But you know what we're going to be doing? You know what MVPs are going to be doing? We're going to be watching results. And we're going to be on top of the world with our results. Shout out Jacksonville State at FIU. UTEP at Sam Houston. 2 games starting at 7. I'll be doing a live stream. I'll be doing a watch party. Come join us. MVPs are in green. These got badges. They're all here. It's something special. Our watch parties are great. We have a good time. Everybody's winning. And when we're losing, at least we're not losing alone in a dark room somewhere. At least we're all losing together when it happens. If it happens. We're all losing. Last night, I was feeling kind of shaky. Let me tell you, I'm watching the game. We're down 16-3. I'm sitting there going, damn it. It's falling apart. And I had some MVPs in there helping me cope. I had some MVPs keeping me together saying, Rico, it's too early. Don't quit, man. Don't give up, bro. Hang in there. Hang in there. You got this. And I'm like, you're right. I got it on split screen, dual monitors, right? So I'm sitting out there. I'm watching my TV, and I'm like, it's all good, Rico, because Liberty's winning. It's okay. It's okay to miss. Liberty's winning, and they're blowing them out. We're fine. We just went 1 for 1. No big deal. And then, boom! Bang, bang, bang. Diego Paiva comes through like a beast that he is, and we win that game. Oh, it's so beautiful. It was a sweat, bro. It was a sweat, and it felt good. Tonight, let's have a sweat-free evening. We know that's not happening. But let's hope it happens. But there's those 2 matchups tonight. Come hang out with us. You're invited. See the other matchups. So first, I have to do this real quick. I didn't do this properly. We're doing the American and the Big 12 today, so don't ask me any questions about any other conferences. That's not happening. But let's go with American scores from Week 8. I forgot to go over results first. Let me pull that up. So Rice blows out Tulsa. I should have known this was coming. Tulsa has no semblance of offense. Their 2 quarterbacks are terrible, and JT Daniels can really throw. I started believing in Tulsa's defense. Never again. And, yeah, Rice blew them out. SMU, I said they would win by 40. They won by 55. I was wrong. I said they would win by 30. My bad. They won by 55. Temple's gross. Shout out to SMU. They're a very strong team. Air Force beating Navy. Did not see this coming. Navy played really good. Air Force didn't dominate enough. They did cover the spread, but it's still. Shout out to North Texas. Going blow for blow. Pause. Going touchdown for touchdown with Tulane. What a beautiful thing. I love what North Texas is doing. Their new head coach, Eric Morris, former offensive coordinator at Washington State, former head coach at Incarnate Word, UIW. He's just out there doing his damn thing. Got his players believing in him. Rodgers throws for another 300-yard plus game. He's been over 300 yards like 3 weeks in a row, especially against those Tulane defensive backs. That's so impressive. So impressive. But look at that, man. Keys the third, 78 yards and a touchdown. He is an NFL wide receiver if I ever saw one. Shout out to Hughes for being dominant, Mekhi Hughes. And then Memphis and UAB, I told everybody this over is going to hit. Memphis, Seth Hennigan doesn't have bad games. He didn't have a great one, but Ben Watson can be relied upon. If you guys don't know Ben Watson, 2-star wide receiver coming out of high school, was at ODU, back-to-back, averaged over 1,000 yards for 2 seasons. He had only 900-something last year, but over 1,000 yards, 2,000 yards in the last 2 years. Then he transfers to Memphis. He's been their guy, and he comes through in the clutch, and he has over 100 yards in the game against UAB. UAB was scoring for a bit, but UAB was using a backup quarterback for this game. Zeno was not in, so Trent Dilfer, the wheels kind of fell off for him. He still has a good team, still has good players, but they couldn't keep pace with Memphis in all their scoring. Memphis does score. Memphis, if there's anything that's going to happen, Memphis is going to score. And if there's anything that's going to happen when it's Charlotte and East Carolina, is no one's going to score. MVP lock, told you guys the under's going to hit. If you notice, a lot of our locks are in these other group of 5 conferences, and we just hit so right. We know the team's better than Vegas. So Charlotte beats East Carolina. East Carolina has no offense. Charlotte's all defense. Shout out to Jalen Jones, I think Jones was at either A&M or Florida. Where was he? I want to get it right. He's a transfer. He played at for Biff Poggi in high school. Where was he? I want to say A&M. Shout out to South Florida. Alex Golish is doing it and overachieving. UTSA beating Florida Atlantic. They're just a better team. UTSA has better players everywhere on the field, especially at quarterback. Shout out to Frank Harris for finally doing something. Frank Harris is still having a bad year. He's still missing Franklin. When you start losing your star wide receiver, Kavorian Barnes doesn't get enough carries. That running back is great, and he's not getting enough carries. And then FAU, it's just going to be a down year. You lost your quarterback. You're having to make do with Richardson and whoever else you can find. It's just not good, and that's what happens. They're still a quality team. They're just not of the same caliber as UTSA. And UTSA coming over from Conference USA, winning that thing 11 games last year, and then coming in here and getting it together. Look at that. They're undefeated in the American. They still want to win the American. American's much harder to win than Conference USA, obviously. So this week's games, we got Florida Atlantic at Charlotte. I want to be careful and not talk about games that are on the MVP list. So let me double check. That's a Friday game, so obviously it's a Friday lock. It's a lock. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay, that's going to be there. And then we got Tulsa at SMU. That's another lock. Memphis at North Texas. That is not a lock, if I remember correctly. It's not a lock because the line on this thing is huge. Like, we know the over is going to hit, and it feels like Memphis is winning this game. North Texas has no semblance of defense, but North Texas can score with anybody. But Memphis, I think Memphis wins this game on the road, but I don't know what the spread is off the top of my head right now. It looked like it's something I can bet on, and the over is insane. I bet the over is like in the 70s for this game. It's got to be like 71 or something. East Carolina at UTSA. Obviously, UTSA is winning that game. East Carolina can't score at all. And Tulane at Rice. People are expecting Tulane to win this game, and they should. They have the better team, more talent. But Rice can obviously score, so we'll see what happens. But I don't know what the spread is for this one either. I'd imagine Tulane's going to beat them. So if you were doing a money line for this conference, I would do a money line. Oh, let me do that for you guys. If you wanted to do a guaranteed win money line in this particular conference, in the American, you don't want to go and bet every single game. Give me a second here. I'm always experimenting. Give me a second. If you go in here and you go NCAA and you go with, let me close that out, American, and the only games I would really bet on in here that I can be sure are going to win is I would probably go with Tulane, UTSA, Memphis, SMU, in that order right there. I would stay away from this Friday night game just because it's not as a lock as these others. I feel these others are good. Memphis might drop, but I still like all those. So if we're going in here and we go SMU, control F this thing, SMU, take it money line. I know it's huge. Doesn't matter. Watch this. Tulane, Memphis, UTSA, right? Sorry. Tulane, Memphis, and then UTSA. Oh, there it came up. My bad. And that's your 4-leg parlay. It's still minus 124, and it just feels like it's going to hit. It just feels like it's going to hit. Those are 4 very big favorites that I believe in that'll win. Obviously, I said the one game that could be dropped is Memphis because North Texas has a fighting chance. But these other ones are guaranteed to hit, and that's a 124. If you even drop Memphis from this just to be safe, that's a minus 258. And look there's no way SMU is losing to Tulsa. Tulane, if they lose to Rice, that would be a monumental upset, and it's not happening. So there's 3 that I would put it all on, and you could go crazy and say I'm going to win $200 if I put in $500. So you put in $500, you get back almost $700, and it's guaranteed to hit. Am I blocking the overall? I'm sorry, guys. That's the type of cooking I would do if I was betting on these games on the money line in the American. I would do this parlay right here, SMU, Tulane, UTSA. Those 3 are guaranteed to win. You go put $500 on it, and you're going to win $200. That's just the way it goes, man. These teams aren't losing. Go parlay them and call it a day. I really can't see UTSA ever losing to East Carolina. SMU to Tulsa, not happening. Tulane could, but I don't see it. But even then, that's only 67. So you got to go with Tulane and call it a day. You could add more, guaranteed to happen, but those ones felt really good. Yeah, those ones feel amazing. I'm looking around. You can start adding shit, but It just feels like those teams are going to win. All right. Hope you got that freebie. Shout out to TikTok if you're watching. Shout out to YouTube if you're watching. I hope everybody hits it and does well. We come in here. We got Oklahoma at Kansas. I believe that's an MVP lock. It is. Houston at KState. MVP lock, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. It's not. What is that? It should have been. I took it off probably because, K-State's so hard to read. But let me tell you guys something about this. The reason Houston is competitive, like when they were competitive with Texas, is because Houston has team speed. They have athletes. They can actually put up some points and outrun you. K-State does not have team speed. K-State is very dominant. They can beat the hell out of teams with no team speed. But remember when we bet on K-State the other day and we lost our ass when they played Missouri? It was because this is so unfortunate. The reality is they just don't have the team speed. They're not doing it. OK State, they couldn't go out there and blow the top off of them. Okay? But when they can hit you in the mouth, they'll beat you. Shout out to TCU for being terrible. I just have a tough time believing in K-State. I've seen them lay an egg here and there. And when I look at Houston is competitive in games. Even when they're losing, Houston's there. They're not ever getting blown out, y'all. They're right here. And I know, hey, look, they beat TCU. These guys lost to TCU. You can do that whole common opponent thing. They lost to Texas Tech. These guys beat them, so they're going to lose this game by a lot. Yeah, not so fast. Donovan Smith is the X factor, and this team is fast as hell. Houston is actually fast. I get it, man, but look at that line. 17.5. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. I don't know. I feel like Houston can cover that spread. I've talked myself into it. It's not on the MVP lock list. It's a free lock for you guys. I'll make a video and put it out on TikTok. I think Houston can cover this spread against K-State. They're just athletic and fast and really good. West Virginia needs to win this game or the wheels are going to fall off their season. They're at UCF. UCF impressed everybody against Oklahoma. I think West Virginia matches up really well with UCF. We'll see what happens. It's a coin toss. BYU, Texas. Obviously, Texas is supposed to win this game. Everybody wants to bet on BYU to cover the spread because Texas doesn't have their quarterback. Whatever, dude. Texas is blowing them out. It's not going to be close. There's a huge talent gap here. Give me Texas to win this game and remind everybody why they're probably the most talented team in the Big 12, despite losing to Oklahoma. Iowa State at Baylor, another coin toss game. I like Iowa State and what they've been doing lately. Baylor's been looking, like they're not dead. But I like Iowa State lately, I should say. And then Oklahoma State, Cincy. That is an MVP lock. I will not be talking about it. So there you go. Oh, what were the results the week before? That's on me. Results the week before, week 8. UCF played great, showed up, lost. You can blame Javon Baker. If you guys don't know, Javon Baker's a transfer from Alabama. Showed up. Played, blew a kiss to Oklahoma, got a penalty, cost them a field goal at some point, had another penalty, cost them 3 points. Like, this guy's just bad. They lost by 2 points. He cost them a field goal at some point. Donovan Smith went out and got 378 yards passing against Texas. That's why I'm telling you he can get his yards against anybody. Don't you ever forget that. They did that to Texas. What is he going to do to K-State? He's going to put up some numbers, y'all. Blake Shapen coming back from injury, finally back in there. Kiner goes for 129 for Cincinnati, but Shapen throws for 316. Cincinnati's just been getting their face smashed in every chance they get. Satterfield, man. And every now and then they surprise you and win a game, but disappointing. West Virginia tried to keep pace with Oklahoma State, but Ollie Gordon, 282 yards. Ollie Gordon looked like a monster. Despite Garrett Green playing pretty good. Jake Strong, never seen him play until this week, and it wasn't enough. Taj Brooks, good running back, but this whole thing is underwhelming to me. Watching BYU beat Texas Tech. Texas Tech, the wheels fell off this whole season. They were supposed to win 9 games this year. They might not win 9 games the next 2 years. This is bad. Something's got to change. Obviously, injuries hurt them, but this can't happen. And TCU, I told you they're a 5-win team. This is one of the games I had them losing. Not like this, though. Josh Hoover, backup quarterback, starting for TCU. Played great 2 weeks ago. Played terrible this past week. Amani Bailey, 100-yard rusher for TCU. Wasn't enough. Yeah, it's just K-State's very dominant. Switching 2 quarterbacks, all this shit. I don't know. I don't know what their plan is, but they're doing it. Whatever their plan is, it's working. All right, guys, that's enough out of the Big 12 and the American. Now I'll take your questions. Reminder to TikTok, if you want to talk to me, all you got to do is move over to YouTube. That's it. Move over to YouTube. Talk to me. Go in there, and we can make it happen. Thank you guys for being here. Let's go. Jake Kinerim, welcome. You are an MVP. Slade Calhoun, welcome to the MVP family. Part of the show. Mason, an MVP over 30 days. Just re-upped. Congratulations. Mr. Swag, an MVP. Sam Schallert, welcome to the MVP family. Dom, not an MVP, but a supporter of the channel here, watching, and he says, is Houston going to be competitive with K-State? Just talked about it. I believe they are. Oklahoma State -7.5 against Cincinnati. Cincinnati playing like they should be in the MAC. Yeah, they're not. They were in the American for the last 10 years or so, but I hear you. Yeah, it's rough. Cincinnati doesn't look good. Andres says, what up, Rico? Hope your day's been going good. It's been a rough day. What's the game of the week for the Big 12 and the American Conference this week, in your opinion? So for the Big 12, game of the week for week 9, for the American, it's going to be Memphis and North Texas for sure. It's the game of the week for me. Both teams looking very explosive on offense and trying their best to win something. And then for the Big 12, let's go to week 9. Go to the Big 12. And the game of the week for the Big 12, definitely Oklahoma, Kansas. Kansas is 2-2. Oklahoma needs to stay undefeated, keep winning, can't afford to lose. I like that. I think that's a big deal. Oklahoma and Kansas. Kansas borderline top 25 team. And we got to see if Oklahoma can get out of their rut, because that highly emotional win over Texas, there was some hangover there, and they didn't look good. Y'all rolling with the California Night Lights hero, Division III, I think, transfer UTEP. I don't know who you're talking about. Or the Texas Friday Night Lights hero, Sam Houston State. Oh, you're asking if we're rolling with Sam Houston State or UTEP? Yeah, we never roll with either one of these teams, Grayson Joyner. At least I don't. Thoughts on the North Texas-Memphis game? In the line is at 69, and Memphis is favored by 7.5. Well, there you go. The line's huge. It's 69. Yeah, it's really high. Both teams are expected to score like crazy, and Memphis should probably win by a touchdown. If you're going to go 7.5 on Memphis, tease it down to 6.5. Be careful. But that's if you believe in them. They sounds right. Sounds right. Grayson Joyner says, I don't know if I can bet on Kansas State after the debacle 2 weeks or so ago. It was 4 weeks ago. Totally agree. I love the American Conference, best group of 5 conference. Them in the Sun Belt are very good right now. Ike Taylor, welcome to being a Minion. Oh, shout out to the Minions. Listen, guys, I made a new playlist on YouTube for Minions and Minions or above, right? So any MVP videos, I'll show you guys. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to click here. How do I get to it? Open link, a new tab. We're going to go to Rico Knows homepage. And any video, let me get this off the page real quick. Make sure it's here. There it is. There's a new playlist, and it's called Past MVP Locks for Lower Members to View. If you are a Minion or a Roughneck, you can watch past MVP lock videos after the games occur. I move them off the playlist to this one right here. So they go off the MVP locks playlist over to this playlist, and Minions can view these videos if you want to learn about the teams, see what I'm doing. If you guys are ever interested in upgrading to being an MVP and you're curious what the what the content is, I'm going to start making all of my premium videos eligible to Minions and Roughnecks a day after the game. If I can remember. It will be after the fact, but it won't be before or during. That was David in Arizona's idea, and he asked for it yesterday, and I said, yeah, man, I can do that. So started it this morning, took a lot of clicking, went at it for like an hour, kind of moved over everything, 27 videos, put them on a new playlist, different permissions. It's a little tedious, but I made it happen. Shout out to you, David, for the idea. Welcome to the team, Mike. David in Arizona, speak of the devil. Good afternoon, Rico. What up, man? And he's in green now. He's a minion. Word. Sultan of SWAT says, good early stream so I don't miss it and the first quarter of the live tonight. Exactly. You're never going to have to miss the quarters. Happy hump day, everyone. MVP's on a roll. Yes, we are, Steve. Do you watch college basketball, says Day. Yes, I definitely watch college basketball. Watching and betting are two different things. And I usually start watching college basketball religiously during conference tournaments before March Madness. So conference tournaments, I like to figure out how teams are playing, who's a Cinderella, who belongs there, all that stuff. And then I ramp up and get ready for March Madness. So I got to see all the teams play. Can't watch regular season college basketball. Unbearable. Won't watch it. David in Arizona says, Rico, maybe Kevin Sumlin can use his helicopter now to get around. Never liked him as an Arizona coach. Shout out to the Catalina wine mixer. Shout out to David in Arizona. Yeah, using your helicopter to recruit players and impress them is a thing for most head coaches. Now that Kevin Sumlin is not a head coach, he probably doesn't have the budget for the helicopter anymore. But I always think it's a sleazy move, dude. Just send your offensive coordinator. Let them get to know the family and the player. You don't have to show out like that and make a big spectacle. No one can hear them. Have you guys ever been around helicopters in real life? I've been in the Army over 20 years. I've been in some helicopters. I'm going to tell you, they're loud as hell. They're annoying. It's not fun. I don't know what anybody's talking about. I used to do these rat runs in South Korea. We used to take supplies to these detachments. We had these debts. And these detachments sit on the DMZ. And we would go up there and resupply the places. And everybody would want to jump on the bird to go up there. I did it a few times. And after a while, I was like, man, this shit is just loud. I don't like it. Loud and windy. Not my thing. I'm not impressed. I'm being serious. Do you watch? Yep. Rico, yep. Sultan of SWAT says, I bet 6 units came out with 31. 31 units last night? Bruh. Even if your unit is $5, that's $155. It's incredible. If your unit's 10, it's $310. But if your unit was $100, it's $3,100. Bro, that's the mortgage and steak. It's incredible. He says, and I reinvested some into tonight's games that I didn't want to bet on. Sultan of SWAT, never do that shit again, bro. I tell you guys, don't bet on every game. I made a video for my MVPs tonight, and I specifically told the MVPs over and over and over, do not bet on this game. Here's how I feel about it. Don't bet on it. Don't bet on it. Don't bet. I kept saying it over and over. But I still got to make the video for the MVPs, give them the information, and let them do what they do. Let them work their magic. Some of them are good at it. Some not so much. Just saying. Trust me, I get DMs from the I get DMs from the MVPs who don't know what the hell they're doing. Rico, I lost all my money. You're a fraud. I'm out of here. And it's like, all right, bro. Thanks. Sultan of SWAT, Cooking with Kim, a Rico Knows production. She wants to make videos like this, man. She wants to make these cooking videos. She's interested in making the channel about cooking for Rico type shit. Man, you guys don't need to see what she's making me. Some days, she'll make me wild shit. One morning, she served me spicy sriracha noodles with eggs on top. And what else was it? Sausage? What kind of sausage? Hindui? Andouille? Can you spell that? Andouille sausage, bro. Oh, like the armadillo sausage. That's what it looks like, right? Andouille? Yeah, those are silent L's. Well, I don't know. All right. I'll stop now. The silent L crew is out to get me. Rico, thank you for a great week. Damn, the week just started. I'm up big this week. Let's go MVPs. Don't waste it all. Don't waste it all, Edward. I tell you guys the same thing. If you have $500 in your bankroll and you're up to $600, just increase your unit size to $6. Don't go stupid. Don't go crazy. Just pace yourself, y'all. Units should be 1% of your bankroll. Dwight Howard breakdown is not what I came in here for, but appreciate the analysis. I ain't breaking down nothing. I told you, got to keep the faith, Rico. Yes, you did, Salt and the SWAT. Does Army bring anything to the American Conference, hearing they are going to keep the Army-Navy game as a non-conference matchup after the season is over? They are keeping the Army-Navy matchup. Just by the way, it is the American Conference Day today. I did a video, if you don't know what Salt and the SWAT's talking about, I did a video on TikTok and YouTube about Army joining the American Athletic Conference. Yes, they still are going to play Navy at the end of the season. It's tradition, all this stuff. What does Army bring to the American Conference? Well, first and foremost, the American Conference gives Army bowl affiliation and revenue, right? Protection and revenue and all this other stuff. But it's only football. Army's football only joining the American Athletic Conference. So it's only football, not all sports. And with Army, they already had a bowl agreement with the Independence Bowl. They already had an agreement with the Armed Forces Bowl, or one bowl that's controlled by ESPN. There's all this stuff. There's a whole deal out there. So I just want to make sure we understand what's going on. But for me, Army is national appeal. Now, I'm not a huge Army fan by any means. Yes, I was in the Army. I've been in the Army for over 20 years now. I'm still active duty. I am not a huge supporter of the Army West Point football team, but I'd imagine there are a whole lot of people that have gone to West Point that are our alumni, that believe wholeheartedly in the Army football team, and they got to have more fans than some of these other American teams, right? And I say American, I mean the American Conference. They bring a hell of a lot more to this conference than Florida Atlantic or Charlotte or UTSA or Rice, East Carolina. Like those teams just don't have the fan base that Army does. It's the reality. There's national appeal there. Whether their brand of football is appealing, no. But remember, Army was 0-11 year after year after year. Army was so bad. And then they started going to bowl games. Then they started being good. The Armed Forces Bowl was never, the Commander's Cup was never between Army and anyone. It was just Air Force and Navy. And Army was just the other team they beat up. And that's not the case anymore. So Monken got them straight, right? Coach Monken got them figured out, got them to the top of the mountain. They're having a bad year this year, but they're not a bad team. You watch them; they do a lot with less. They do really good. I like them. So yeah, that's what they bring to the table. Probably national appeal, and some rivalries, and just stability. Rice is 11.5. Yeah, Dom, sounds about right. Rico got to start clearing out that betting slip. I'm good, Salt and the SWAT. It's not a real betting slip. I just click on shit. Don't get too crazy. Since you are here, hit the likes and visit ricoknows.org for all your merch. Thank you very much, Steve. Yeah, just a reminder, guys, we do have merch. You just go to ricoknows.org and you're straight. How about Smoot? What about Smoot? What about him? That's all you got to do. Go to ricoknows.org. You'll see all the merch. So I know you don't recommend parlays. Okay, Slate May, let's go. In most instances, but took your picks last night. New Mexico State money line, Liberty 4.5, and added the under for New Mexico State La Tech, and over $30 bet paid $450. Damn, Slate May. That's not gonna happen every night, but that's pretty damn cool. $450. Shout out to you. What's up, Rico? What up, Blase? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Why did Baylor fall off so hard? Batman gummies. There's some issues there. Firstly, Baylor. If you ask me, Dave Aranda's a good coach, but he's running out of he's wearing out his welcome, and you got to understand they lost Joey McGuire. He was their linebackers coach, tight ends coach, and he left to go be the head coach at Texas Tech. Took some of that with you, took some recruits with you, took some players with you, and some other coaches. And you lose Matt Rule, and you've been kind of coasting off of Matt Rule's players for a while. Like the majority of those seniors are Matt Rule recruits. Like Josh Fleeks just left Baylor to go to Nebraska because he's playing for Matt Rule. Somebody he recruited him. So over the years now, these last couple of years, you've been having to do with your own recruiting and your own players. And it's not quite working. Another thing, when teams struggle, I need you guys to understand it coincides and it's correlated with the ability of your quarterback, It really is. This is the NFL. This is high school, college. So Chapin is not good enough to win the Big 12. They don't have a great quarterback. They didn't get one in the transfer portal. They don't have one coming to them. Now, they had a kid coming out of high school, but Oregon stole him on National Letter of Intent Day. They got him to flip, right? Austin, some weird name with an AU in it. I went and watched the tape. The kid was good. So Baylor lost out on a recruit. When you start losing and you don't have a good quarterback, you're going to struggle. It's the reality of the situation. Quarterbacks touch the ball every single play. So Baylor needs to find themselves, figure themselves out. And when you start seeing teams like Texas Tech or Oklahoma State, Texas State, and Houston taking a lot of your recruits, TCU, you're competing with a lot of these other schools, UTSA, and they're getting some of these star players that could probably be playing for you, but they're busy playing for other teams. Where's your talent thin? And Texas is a huge state, and they got a lot of players. They can field all these teams. But it looks like Baylor might have missed on a lot of recruits. And some transfer portal additions. Thoughts on Texas currently? Evan Torres, Texas is one of the best teams in the conference. One of the best teams in America. I think they're fine. Probably the best one-loss team in America. During the offseason, when you said you'd do transfer portal updates for MVPs, would that be available to Minions at the same time? Evan Kramer, I'm probably going to do all transfer portal updates for Minions. Let me make that clear. All of them. Every video I give on a transfer portal update will only be viewable by members. That's probably where I'm leaning for the offseason. I want to increase my number of members. It's important. And I think doing nothing but transfer portal updates only for members can help people subscribe to the channel for premium videos. That's what we're going to do. It's not much. It's $1.99 a month. It's $2 just to look at some video. Nothing changes, but that's probably where we're going with that. Shout out to you, Evan. Yo, Rico, what up, Don Player? Welcome. Don Player became an MVP last night. I hope he made the bets that we gave him, and he hit last night. Is Jacksonville State -9 too much? Trey Glass, you were asking me for an MVP level lock in public in front of a bunch of people who don't pay for that type of information. This is the wrong place and wrong time to ask for that information. If you were asking about a spread on an MVP level game and you're an MVP, you should have wrote it in a comment under a video you had all day. You had all day yesterday. I answer all MVP comments every single day. Every single day, as soon as possible. So you have no business asking that in here. You're not going to get an answer from me. Rico, remember the 20-unit whale last night? We finished with 60. Shout out to you, Tactical Orange. Congratulations. I'm glad you bet 20 units and you got 60. That's pretty damn awesome. Congratulations. Sam Vile says, Rico, if Tulane wins out and wins the American, are they getting a New Year's 6 nod? No, not necessarily. There are other teams that can go undefeated in the group of 5. There really are. And that's the reality of the situation. So JMU obviously can't go, but there are other teams out there that can win it all. Who else can win it all? Am I talking crazy? No, Liberty. Liberty can run the table. Why are we ignoring them? Liberty can run the table. Let's not ignore Liberty. I'm just saying. We just determined Rico has no Cajun heritage. 100%. Because I didn't know that damn sausage. Is that Cajun? Those sausage? Armadillo sausages? What? When Troy played Army at Troy last year, it was the first time Troy sold a game out. Exactly, Evan Kramer. Army has national appeal. They can sell out a game anywhere because there's Army veterans everywhere. There's officers everywhere. There's alumni. There's prideful people, all that shit. Army sells out anywhere. That's good, Rico. Do you ever look at FCS? Oh, boy. No. The answer is no. I mean, I'm aware of FCS teams, players in the playoffs, but if we're talking about spreads, nope. Don't even bother. They don't post them till the day of the game. I can't do any props on them, and it's just too short flash to bang. Like when they finally post them for me to make a video and tell people who to pick. And studying 133 FBS teams is hard enough. Trying to incorporate 128 FCS teams is just absurd. And knowing them to that extent. Now, there is every now and then I can just be like, yo, there's a stud team right there. Go get them. But I don't really get down like that. I know I don't even look for FCS level plays at all. UTSA should destroy ECU. Yeah, they're much better. East Carolina won't score 10 points. East Carolina won't score 10 points on UTSA. No. Who's your national title pick? Sam Viles. I don't pick national titles. I don't predict who's going to playoffs. I don't even predict who's winning conferences. I don't make predictions like that. I sit down and digest each week. I don't even do it by week. I do it each game, like each day. Like I don't even know who's playing tomorrow. I'll do my assessment on tomorrow's games tomorrow in the morning. I take it one day at a time. I do not try to look ahead like that. I don't give a shit who wins the national title. You know who's going to win the national title? Whoever's in the game. There's going to be 2 teams in the game, and then I'll make my assessment once those 2 teams are in the game. That's it. Do you think North Texas and Memphis goes over 69.5? If I thought it was going to happen, I would have put it on the lock list. It's not on the lock list. That's me telling you indirectly it's not going to happen. But the reason it's not on the lock list is because I don't know if it's going to happen or it's not. Like if it's not going to happen, I would have put it on the lock list as well, right? So I have no clue. I would imagine each team is good for 35 points. I would imagine each team can put up 35 points. That's what you're looking for. Tactical Orange says, hey, Rico, I don't know if anyone has said it to you, but in regards to tonight's picks, never feel like you got to force something. It's better to not pick a puck than give one you don't like. Yeah, I'm not giving one, Tactical Orange. I'm forcing myself to make a pick, but I'm not giving it to the MVPs. Remember what I'm saying. I'm not picking every single game for the sake of bragging about it. Like, oh, I got this right, I got this wrong. I understand what I'm doing. I'm giving information on every matchup, and sometimes when I give you information on a matchup, you might think that means I'm betting on it or I believe in it to some extent. No, that is not what it means. There are 2 games tomorrow, and there's only 1 lock on the page for tomorrow. There are 2 games, but there's only 1 lock. If I put a lock on the page, I believe in it. If you don't see any mention of it on the page, it's fine. But I feel what you're saying. I do. I'm not crazy. And at the same time, when I give you guys information on a game, it's just me giving you information. Excuse me, my nose is running. See y'all tonight. Thanks everyone for being here. Shout out to you, Steve. Peace. Back to the chat. Dom says, what other could teams be like Tulane, a good group of 5 team? Oh, there's so many. Fresno State, Troy, South Alabama. I mean, there's so many good group of 5 teams. There's good ones. It's reality. There's a bunch of them. Is ECU going to let go of Houston? Man, this is ridiculous for that program because they care. I mean, I'm an NC State guy, but I'll admit they care. Grayson Joyner, what do you mean this is ridiculous? They lost 5 superstars to the NFL last year. You have a senior-laden team lose everybody. What the hell are they supposed to do? How are they supposed to be winning these games? You lost a 4-year starter at quarterback. You lost Keaton Mitchell at running back. You lost 2 wide receivers in the NFL. You lost all your top 3 wide receivers. You lost linebackers and corner. Like, what are you talking about? Why would you fire your coach? What coach in America could win with those players? That's what I don't understand, you guys. You look at ECU, is there a coach somewhere in America that could win with those players? I don't think so. Why fire the coach? He just had them on top of the world. He just recruited great, had a bunch. It's not his fault. He signed Keaton Mitchell and he left a year early. Keaton Mitchell leaves at 19 years old, 20 years old after his sophomore year. You shitting me? You want to fire the coach? It's ridiculous. Coaches are allowed to have a bad year, a rebuilding year, a reloading year. It's ECU. What up, MVPs? Tidy Whitey special, baby. Robert Ruggiero. Robert Rug and Tug. Let me tell you, man, Robert shows up. He watches all our live streams with no underwear. It's not because he's freaky or anything. He's just only owns 10 pairs. And he does laundry once a month. What's going on with TCU? Batman gummies. Same thing that's going on with ECU. TCU just lost 8 players to the NFL draft. How are they supposed to be equivalent to what they were last year? They're not going to be as good. They lost 8 NFL draft picks. Who do you replace them with? Underclassmen? Transfers? You're not going to find 8 NFL draft picks in the transfer portal to all join your team. That's absurd. TCU's having a down year. It's a cycle of talent. You guys are wild. What's going on with TCU? Same shit's going on everywhere else. People are graduating. People are going to the pros. You got to find other people. They didn't find them. They're on the team. They got 2 more. In 2 years, TCU will be good. And you guys will be like, oh, yeah, they fixed it. No, they didn't. The players grew up. They got older. There's nothing to fix. What's up, Rico? Last night hit hard. What up, Mustang, man? I hope it did, man. Pace yourself tonight. I put $1 on a parlay for each game to keep things interesting. Okay, should be a fun night, not sweating it. There it is. That's how you do it, Salt and the SWAT. If you don't believe in it, just let it go. You don't have to answer that ECU thing. I'm just stunned that they have these issues where they were the original transfer factory. Well, even then, they got transfers this year that didn't pan out. Tyshawn King's already gone. Oh, I'm sorry, Taekwon. Taekwon King came over from NC State. North Carolina A&T, FCS All-American, led the team in tackles, couldn't tackle a soul, couldn't be third string. So you sign an FCS All-American because you see him on tape with 90 tackles. You bring him into practice, and he's got the dexterity of a rhino and can't be in the starting lineup. So you didn't recruit a bunch of guys. You didn't sign. You gave offers to dudes who can't get it done. That's just the way it goes sometimes. You sign the wrong dudes. Offensive lineman left. They were signing offensive linemen from Akron late in the recruiting period. You should have known they were going to struggle. They were signing guys from Akron. They knew they needed help. It's not getting any better. Even though it's unlikely, crazy to think of, Oklahoma State wins out, and Oklahoma wins every game but Oklahoma State. Oklahoma, Texas could miss the Big 12 title. Oh. D-Dub, that's exciting. Gundy would be forever enshrined. He'd have a statue and everything. The Tactical Orange, heard Rico just looking out. Oh, I hear you, Tactical Orange. I appreciate you looking out, brother. Thank you. What are the keys for Houston to beat K-State? Dom, just spread them out and go. You got more team speed. Go beat them like that. And then obviously stop the run. K-State's only way of dealing with you is Trayshawn Ward at running back, Dobbins at running back. They got a two-headed monster at running back. Stop the run. Don't let them do this pretty shit with their quarterback. And, go out there and just blow past them. Blow past them. That's all you can do. Who's the wide receivers that went to the NFL from ECU? Dom. What are we doing? Do you not watch my content? I talked about these guys in the NFL draft for months. I'm sorry. So Winstead was a 1,000-yard receiver. Here we go. And, by the way, the best receiver is Chase Sewell, Colorado transfer. So 1,000-yard receiver was Winstead, C.J. Johnson, on my top 10 on my draft list. This was a top 10 draft pick for me. Top 10 wide receiver in the draft. He did not get drafted. Seahawks cut him in the preseason. These are great wide receivers. Jalen Johnson's coming back. Keaton Mitchell's gone. But what you got to look at is, you just lost 2 1,000-yard receivers. 16 receiving touchdowns. You lost Keaton Mitchell, a 1,500-yard rusher, 1,400-yard rusher. You know who you replaced these guys with? You know who they replaced them with when they went to the transfer portal? Broderick Green. The running back was Gerald Green. I'm sorry, I said Broderick. Gerald Green, 1 carry, 3 yards. That's who they got in the transfer portal. A third-string running back from Georgia Southern to make up for losing a 1,400-yard rusher. Why are they struggling? They don't have a 1,400-yard rusher. Look at Alex Finn. This guy who's the guy that's playing. Alex Flynn 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 50% completion percentage. All these guys, 50%. Nobody's any better. You lose Holton Ahlers, you gotta go with these dudes. They lost a star running back, star quarterback, 2 1,000-yard receivers, and you're replacing them with Chase Sewell, a Colorado transfer who never played at Colorado. Like, people need to just sit down and analyze these teams and what they're doing. I like Ra Dilworth. He's cool. BJ Davis, FCS transfer. He's in the rotation on the weak side. Will linebacker. But it's just they didn't replace with good players. They lost everybody to graduation in the NFL. That's what happens. ECU will be a top group of 5 team again. The offense should be reloaded next year. Not next year. It'll be about 2 years. 2 years. Mason Garcia's good. The big, tall quarterback can fall forward. Give him 2 years. Rico, do you think BYU will hang with Texas? No. BYU is going to get punched in the mouth and not hang with Texas. BYU, no. Rico, excited for the props tonight. Thanks. See you at the watch party. Derek Newcomer is a prop better. I think he's in a state where he can only do prop bets. I ain't excited about the props tonight. I'm excited about the spread a little bit, but I ain't excited about the props. Good luck with them. Salt and the SWAT says, remember, ask your questions about the American or Big 12. Thank you. They'll learn, Salt, and their comments will continue to be deleted. Thank you. Oklahoma might have a down game against Kansas since they're looking forward to Oklahoma State. Look at Dom. Dom's out here thinking Kansas is a trap game. Kansas is better than Oklahoma State. What's up, Rico? Can you look at this kid, Michael D'Amato? He played with Mikey Matthews and Caden Samanza at Mission Viejo. He was a 3-star recruit and went under the radar. He's in JUCO right now. So only Dre, obviously I watch a lot of Mission Viejo tape. I'm familiar with Michael D'Amato. I can look at him if you send me a DM. I know the players. I know the teams. I know everybody at every major school like that. So there's nothing for me to see more than what I've already seen. But you can send a DM. I'll make a video about him, but it's about a 2-year wait. I'm not joking. It's a 2-year wait for me to do a high school film review on a player. I just did one on a young man today, and he sent the request back in June or July. We're obviously in October. And more importantly, since that time frame, I've gotten 1,500, 2,000 requests. So you can get in line, and I'll get to it. He might be a senior in college by the time I get to it. Just saying. I know of them. I just forgot the name. Sorry. Oh, no worries. No worries, Dom. Robert Reggio says, you forgot the name. Sorry. Of the EC wide receivers. Where do you think Ollie Gordon stands in FBS running back rankings? Well, temper acid. I haven't sat down and ranked all the running backs, but Ollie Gordon is a very good running back. I've always liked him. I think a lot of people are making a big deal out of the 282 he just did. He's a good back, but if I had to sit down and have tryouts for running backs, I don't know where I rank him. I haven't tried to do that. I do that in the offseason, not during the season. It lets me stay focused on the games and the results instead of talking about hypotheticals like that. You notice none of my content being made on TikTok or YouTube has been anything like top 10 wide receivers, top 10 this, top 10. Like, I haven't even been in that vein or thought process until the offseason, until I can sit down, assess numbers, look at matchups, watch film, talent people, and then put them all together. But I do all that stuff in offseason, not during season. So great question. Thanks for asking, but he's a good running back. Mikey had 126 tackles and made history at Mission Viejo. He's the tackling leader there now. There you go. I think he's an FBS player. He's just a tweener. It happens. I know a ton of kids. in that realm. It happens. I think there you go. Do you analyze every FBS team? Batman Gummies, that is a fact. I analyze every FBS team every single week. I attack it by conference. So today was Big 12 and American. All I did was research on Big 12 and American teams, and I'll do it every Wednesday. And tomorrow will be SEC and Sun Belt. And then I watch all the games I can on Saturday, and I rewatch them on the day of their conference. So tomorrow will be SEC and Sun Belt. Friday will be Mountain West and Pac-12. I just keep this rotation going all off season, every single day, all like that. And then the only day I take off is Sunday. Sunday I push away and go hang out with the wifey sitting over here, and we go out and do whatever it is couples do. We get one day a week to do that. That's why I don't watch NFL, because I need a break from this and hang out with my significant other. You said Kansas is better than Oklahoma State. I thought Kansas got destroyed by Oklahoma State. Plus, it's the last year of Bedlam. Dom, yeah, I know. It's cool. I said what I said. Only reason I think Oklahoma is looking forward to Oklahoma State is this will be the last Bedlam game. Everybody's sitting here going, yeah, it's a trap game. It's a trap game. Okay. It's mind-boggling Keaton Slovis is so bad, like how he transferred multiple times and failed. So, Dom, I don't think he's failed. I don't think he's failed. He's playing as best he can. He doesn't have a lot of great wide receivers, doesn't have a great offensive scheme. With BYU, they're playing against much better teams than they're used to playing. I don't think he failed at Pitt. Not at all. He just had a really strong run game, and Coach wanted to throw more. It was weird. Coach wanted to mess up the offensive scheme. Remember, they used Israel Abanikanda last year a lot. And Coach didn't like it. He wanted to do some other shit. It was weird. I don't know what's going on. But Pat Narduzzi is not him. Just keeping it clear. What happened to the weekly top transfer players? Exactly, Evan Kramer just dropped it. Just too much time being spent trying to analyze who was the best transfer players every week. Had to drop it. And I do that a lot. Like, I'm making a series, and then juice is not worth the squeeze. I wish the service academies didn't have so strict recruiting guidelines. Dom, they are the only reason service academies exist is to create officers in the world's strongest military. Like, that's the only reason they exist. Football does not matter to those universities, those establishments. That is not the priority. They're not recruiting the best football players. They're recruiting officers for the military. And that's why they need to pump them out as fast as possible and get them to the military. The military needs more officers. That's what those service academies are for. That is crazy to say anything else. They need to have strict recruiting guidelines. They need intelligent men leading men and women into battle. Period. I'm a college-educated man as a senior leader in the enlisted side of the house. Let me tell you, when we get down and we start strategizing and organizing and managing resources and everything we do, you never want to be sitting there with an idiot who's uneducated, but, hey, man, he was a hell of a football player. That will never happen. These guys have to go be officers when they're done. We need intelligent people doing that. We need people dedicated to the country and the defense of the country and not worried about first downs. No, I'm glad they got to play football. That is not important. I wasn't trying to dump on Mike Houston. I actually thought he would be a ringer for them. Scary for a Wolfpack fan. Ehlers, I thought, would be much better by the time he was a Singer. No, Ehlers was really good. I don't know about much better. I don't know how much better he can be. And Houston's still a really good coach. Houston's still a really good guy. Like, I don't know. He's really good. It's just the kids all left. Well, I guess I thought they'd win like 10 or 11 games. That's nuts. Might be a dumb question, but I know you said you don't watch NFL because it's on Sunday, but do you ever watch it on Thursday or Monday? The best chance for me to watch NFL would be Monday because there's no college games on Monday, but I definitely don't watch it on Thursday. Thursday, I'm watching a college football game. 100%. I would never watch NBA, college baseball, or college baseball, Major League Baseball, playoffs. I watch none of that shit. Not if college game's on. Nope, I got to learn about these teams. I'll never miss it. You can ask Kim. I looked over at Kim like, when's the last time we saw an NFL game? It's you who likes to watch NFL games. And if we're going to watch a game, it'll be a Saints game. Yeah, it'll be a Saints game because Kim's a Saints fan. It ain't got nothing to do with me. So many people think I'm I have no desire. I won't even watch NFL highlights. I play fantasy football, and I don't even watch the games. I don't even watch the game. I'm playing fantasy, and I'm not losing. I'm winning games. I'm not even dead last in my league. I've never watched an NFL game this year. I'm playing fantasy football. Imagine playing fantasy football against somebody who doesn't watch the games. And I'm making trades, and I'm doing free agency pickups. I'm doing all kinds of shit. Don't watch a single game. Imagine losing to somebody like that. Do you ever break down the independents, really only speaking for Notre Dame? Robert, I do independents on Mondays. Mondays is Independence, Conference USA, and the ACC. So if you go to Monday's live stream, I talk about all the independents on Monday. Not just Notre Dame, but Army, UConn, UMass. All independents are done. Do you think Taylor Tatum starts as a freshman next year at Oklahoma? I actually don't think he's that good. I don't think he's that good. Temper Acid. I did a high school film review on Taylor Tatum, and I told everybody I don't think he's the best running back in the nation at all. I think he's a 4-star player at best. I think he's just another good college running back when he gets to college. I don't think he's a 5-star talent. I've seen much better tape, much better players. I was not impressed with his tape. I thought it was good. I think he's a good player, but it wasn't like, oh my God, he starts day one. Nope. I think if he does start, it's because it's being given to him as a 5-star recruit. But what I saw was not a 5-star player on tape. Nate Frazier, the running back at Modern Day, who splits time right now and is a Georgia signee, so his tape is 100 times better. I loved everything about Nate Frazier. He's just a 4-star running back. But to me, so is Taylor Tatum. Like Tatum and who's the kid? Bussey? Terry Bussey? Yeah, both of them. Their tapes did not impress me. And everybody's telling me, oh my God, they're both 5 stars. They're the best in the world. And all this. I turned on the tape and I'm like, I went, they're good players. Not doing it. And Tatum wrote me. He wrote me a DM. Very mature, the young man. He wrote me a DM and said, hey man, why do you feel that way about me? I said, I watch a lot of tape. And I just feel like you're not the best I've seen. That's the reality of the situation. And I'm sure there are other coaching staffs that saw the tape and didn't pursue him as hard because they didn't think he was better than the players on their team. And that's just – so everybody who goes, well, Oklahoma beat out USC for him and beat out Texas and all this. It's like, yeah, but did they beat out LSU? Did they beat out Bama or Georgia? Or were those teams not even remotely interested in this kid because they looked at their own roster and said – he's not better than what we got. Because I don't think he is. I don't think he's better than Ishmael Mahdi. Ishmael Mahdi, the running back at Texas State, is an NFL-ready running back right now. And Ishmael Mahdi plays at Texas State. I think he's better than that kid. Hands down. 10 out of 10. 10 times out of 10 days. Beat that kid every day. But he plays at Texas State. And nobody knows, nobody's watching, but that's a better kid than all the running backs I've seen around. That Ishmael Mahdi kid is something else, just so you know. Let me go back up. This class, best running back in the class. Yeah, no, he is not the clear best running back in the class. He's not even in the, for me, he's not even in the top 5. He's not in the top 5 best running backs in this class. Temper Acid. He's not. It's just what the recruiting websites say. So everybody looks and goes, oh, yeah, look at him. He's 5 stars. Yeah, he's the best one. He's ranked up here. He's doing this. And I'm telling you, no. Nope. And I'll say it again. We did this with wide receivers in the NFL draft. I looked at the draft. I saw all the rankings, and they said, oh, JSN, best receiver in the draft. I went and watched the tape and went, nope. And where's JSN right now? Nope. You're not better than players I see in the NFL. You're not better than players I see on rosters. That kid, Taylor Tatum, for me, not it. Good kid. Go get your education. I don't see an NFL running back. I don't see a starter. I just see a kid going to school, another 4-star dude. There's better dudes on the bench right now in all kinds of other places. Why is that? Why did you stop watching the NFL? LeBron Factory, I've talked about this many, many times. The NFL doesn't play the best players. They just play the players that they're financially invested in. They play the players they are paying the most money to. Let's make that very clear. If they have a financial investment in that guy, he's the starter. If there's a better person on the bench, he doesn't get to start because they don't pay him as much. It's a backwards way of doing things. It's what's done. It's crazy. Can't stand it, and I became less of a fan of it. I also hate NFL fans. I dislike NFL fans. I'm not a fan of that either. I don't like NFL fans. A lot of them are ignorant, uneducated, and they can't get off their They all think they're winning the Super Bowl. I can't stand it. I don't like it. Who dat, Kim? Sure, there you go. There you go. Kim out here throwing up all these fleur-de-lis. Rico, you should do your own 5-star ratings over the summer. That would be cool. Yeah, I don't have enough time or enough resources, LeBron Factory. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that goes involved with having to rate every single player, and I would want to be accurate. There's just not enough time. I have enough time to do the transfer portal, assess them. I do my own rankings for the transfer portal. I look at everybody in that regard, but I don't have enough time to do every recruit. It's a lot of pieces, and the recruiting websites don't have enough time either, and that's why they miss all the time. They don't have enough people looking at everything. They don't have the right metrics. They don't have the right rubric, so they're not grading players correctly. They're not getting it done right, and they miss. I want you guys to think about this. How many players get drafted? 250, 259 this year? And how many teams missed on draft picks? It was just 250, and they still missed. And all they had to do was pick 7 guys each that are going to improve their team, and they still miss. All you have to do is look at 250 guys and find 7 that could make your roster and improve you, and they still miss. And you got 20 people working on this all year long for years at a time, and they still miss. So when you look at recruiting and you're trying to identify 500 players across 20,000 high schools, you're going to miss. And it's going to be bad. And all you have to go off of is not film and not a 4-year college career. You have to go off of a huddle tape, 2-3 minutes long, and that's it. You're going to miss. So the recruiting websites for me they're recruiting for dummies. It's lazy recruiting. You just go click on those websites, you look at the rankings and the stars, and then you pretend like these are the best players in the country. You just pretend like they're the best ones. You're convinced. You're trusting the website to have found the right players and said these are the best ones. But I'm telling you, the websites are not the ones dictating who the best ones are. It's the schools. The schools will recruit certain players. The websites will get word of who they're recruiting and who they've offered, and then they will rank those players. It's just ranking the players that have been offered by FBS programs. For the most part. That's a backwards ass way of doing things. That's not how it should be done. No. I'm not a fan. So over it. Don't even put any value into it. I don't go to recruiting websites and look at rankings. Don't give a shit. They don't know what they're talking about, so it doesn't matter. I watch film, trust my eyes. I'll study letter of intent days, recruiting classes. I get names, I get pictures, and I don't care what their stars say. I just get names and pictures. And then I keep it moving. And I make my own assessment as I go. That's what's up, Kim. There you go. Have you watched Micah Hudson's film? Micah Hudson, 5-star wide receiver, committed to Texas Tech, out of Texas. Have I watched this film? Yes. Listen, guys. I tell you guys I don't pay attention to recruiting. I don't care. But I probably know more about recruiting than any individual person because of how much film I watch and how many teams I study. So, yeah, I know all the players. You're naming 5-star kids, and you're saying, have I watched them? It's a 5-star kid. I probably watched them for 3 years now. Yeah, I watched them. But it doesn't change my assessment when a website will go out and give him more stars or do this or, oh, my God, he's going to meet, like Dylan Raiola. I watched that kid play for 3 years now. I've never been impressed with him. Oh, he's the best quarterback in the world. Rico, I got to see Matt Buford. It's like, no, you don't. He just lost last week. What do you want to see? The kid's not winning anything. What do you want to see? I just wish people watch film and not that bullshit. Just saying. What day do you talk about the Pac-12? Fridays. It moves from East Coast to the West Coast. So I start on the East Coast at ACC, and we do Independence and Conference USA. And then we go, the next day is Big Ten. Big Ten and the MAC, because the MAC's up there with the Big Ten. It's all regional. Then today is Big 12. We're in the middle of the conference, hump day, hump week. Can't get over the Big 12. And the American Conference because they're all American. And then Thursday is the SEC and the Sun Belt. And then Friday is Mountain West and the Pac-12. All the fans, they know the channel. You hit the live tab, you'll see it. When you hit the live tab, you'll see it goes in order every single week. Go to YouTube, click on live. Don't look at the videos, click on live. You will see all the live streams. Steph, shout out to you giving us a $3 tip. Hey, shout out to Steph. She supports the channel. She has a black badge, y'all. She has a black badge. She's been here over 30 days. She's not like the rest of you flakes. She's been here. She's doing her thing. Grayson Joyner says, I mean, not super nuts to say ECU's program can win 10 or 11 games. When I was a kid, they would beat a lot of really good teams. Steve Logan, David Gerard, Ruffin McNeil. Yeah, that has no bearing on anything. Good players back in the day, but you get new coaching staffs and new teams and new players. Wasn't being super serious saying this is ridiculous. How rough their season has been is bad. Guess you can have some bad years. I apologize for using harsh language. My sarcasm doesn't text well. Grayson, don't ever apologize, bro. I get passionate. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you at all. Do your thing. Facts. I can't stand recruiting websites anymore. Almost all the 5-star quarterbacks they select end up being mid. Well, teams don't know how to recruit quarterbacks. Now they don't even know how to develop them. They just go out and sign one from the transfer portal. That's a fact. I think 60 or 70% of starting quarterbacks in college football right now are transfers across all conferences. But, yeah, you just go find a kid who's established and turned out to be good because you missed so much in recruiting. Grayson Joyner, LOL. Yo, what up, Paguno? Shout out to Prod by Marks. Paguno, produced by Marks with the GOAT. What's the best high school football state? For me, the best is Georgia. But how do you determine the best? Are you saying the two best teams in America are always in California? The most NFL players are come out of Texas? Like, what do you mean by the best? I don't know what you mean. Cade Klubnik, Quinn Ewers. We can go on and on with these 5-star quarterbacks who get outplayed by 3 and 4 stars all day long. Yeah, you could go on forever. Yep. That's been the way I think quarterback recruiting rankings have been for a while, LeBron. Yeah. It's just metrics. It's just, do they have the right size, right height? Did they go to the Elite 11 camp? Did they go to camps? Okay, then they're picking the best players at the camps. But that don't mean shit. There's somebody out there just playing. Justin Fields, etc. What about Trevor Lawrence? What about him? He's a good quarterback. He was great in high school. Watched him play. He was good. Ryan Wingo, 5-star wide receiver, just committed to Texas. There you go. It's just a kid named Ryan Wingo, but we got to call him 5-star. What's good, Rico? TJ says, what's good, Rico? I'm ready for another sweaty one tonight. Put your deodorant on, y'all. LeBron says, well, one always does pan out here and there, but look up 5-star quarterbacks throughout history. Most are trash. I don't know about most are trash. It's just, it's not a guaranteed to be great. Only Alabama knows how to recruit quarterbacks. Underrated man, you are joking. Alabama is struggling with quarterback play right now. They had to get transfers. They just recruited. Man, you're joking. Like, this is gross. Alabama didn't recruit good quarterbacks. Alabama had a great offensive coordinator in Kiffin and Sark who know how to evaluate quarterbacks. You got it so wrong. There are 2 good guys who know how to evaluate quarterbacks in America, and they just happen to have a great track record of identifying quarterback recruits and getting them out there. There's still another one, right? Lane Kiffin. I'm sorry, not Lane Kiffin. Who's the kid at who's the 2 at USC right now? The double-headed monster, Cliff Kingsbury and whatever the hell his name is, Lincoln Riley. Those 2 know what they're doing, but there's a lot of people who don't, and you're going to see it drop off immensely at Alabama because they don't know what they're doing. They just signed Dylan Lonergan. The kid's not good. Go watch film against Brookwood. Dylan Lonergan is not a good quarterback, and they just signed him, and they're like, well, he's better than Eli Holstein right now. It's like, what? How bad is Eli Holstein then? Because I like the kid Eli. He's good tape, but he couldn't beat out Walker Howard at LSU. Like, there's just so much shit going on. I could go on forever on every single team. I don't even want to get into it. Robert says, got my bets in. Will be joining you for the watch party. Have a good day, MVP. Shout out to you, Robert. Why is Kansas poor on defense? It's just a talent turnover. It's just difficult. You got a lot of really good players across America, and Kansas had to, flip their roster to be more competitive. Their offense is so dynamic and scores so much that it leaves your defense exhausted and having to get back out on the field. Same thing that happens to USC. Same thing happens at Tennessee. If your offense scores too much, your defense is exhausted because they're constantly out there. Your offense scores too fast. You don't get any rest. By the third and fourth quarter, you're getting blown out. Got to check sophomore quarterback from the number 1 team in Colorado, Brady Vodica. He's a 0-star. Okay. Anyone surprised Wingo just committed to Texas? No, he's in Texas, right? He's in Texas. Rico, how do I tip you? Oh, boy. There is a super chat button in here to do tips. But if you wanted to tip me without letting TikTok take 30%, you go to Cash App, sweetie? Yeah, you go to Cash App and you Cash App me. The name on my Cash App is on my TikTok profile. The name is dollar. Is it a $ first? I think so. I think it's like Who Dat Kimmy. It's really Who Dat Kimmy, to be honest. With a $ in front of it? Yeah, that's how you do Cash Apps. So you Cash App Who Dat Kimmy. WHODAT, like the Saints, Who Dat, and then Kimmy, KIMMIE. And then we get it. A lot of people tip us that way. A lot of people send me tips via Super Chat in here, via Cash App, and that's about it. Arkansas, only 3 good quarterbacks in high school: Jordan Walker, Carson Tullery, and John Watson. There you go. Thoughts on Kobe Bryant from Kansas? He's a DB there. Yeah, it doesn't stick out to me on tape when I watched him. I did some research on my all-name team, and Kobe was on it. Yeah, it doesn't stick out to me at all. It's just he's there. Hey, Rico, for conferences without divisions, how will tiebreakers work for teams that don't play head-to-head? What about a 3-team tie? So, Mr. Mike Ike, I've already made a video about this. It goes your record against common opponents, but if you're all undefeated, then it goes your common opponent's record against the conference. It's really just going to come down to, like, the third tiebreaker really comes down to your opponent's winning record or winning percentage, kind of like strength of schedule. Instead of how you did against these teams and common opponents or head-to-head, and they figured all this out. All the conferences came up with tiebreakers before the season because they foresaw this issue coming. Try to find the video on it. I was talking about the ACC, but it's already been done. You watch NFL, Rico? Not at all. Thanks for watching the show. I already talked about that. Will we see potential NFL quarterbacks from North Texas or Memphis? No, I mean, Seth Hennigan has potential. Definitely not North Texas at all. But Seth Hennigan has potential to be in the NFL. I don't do NFL potential or assessments until after the season. I got to sit down. So the way I do that, guys, is I first look at the NFL. And I look at the 3 deep in the NFL. 3 quarterbacks on every single team. I then rank all the quarterbacks in the NFL. And I look at the bottom half. And I try to say, how do quarterbacks in college coming out compare to this bottom half of quarterbacks in the NFL? I'm talking about on the bench, practice squads, whatever. Because that means this new batch coming out, will they make it in the NFL? And this is how I know quarterbacks like Aiden McConnell or Tanner McKee or Jake Hayner, how I know they're going to make it in the NFL is I look at the backups and I say, okay, are these guys better than what I see on NFL rosters? If they are, they're going to make it in the NFL. Now, where they're going to make it, I don't know. Are they going to get drafted or not? I don't know. But that's how I do that. That's how I assess most position groups is I look at the bottom half of the NFL rosters, and then I can identify how many players are going to actually make it. And that's why so many of my picks were NFL undrafted free agents, because I knew it doesn't matter if they're drafted or not, they're still going to make it. I know they're better. And that's how that goes. TJ says, last night was epic, by the way. Shout out to the MVPs. Man, it felt good. Underrated Man 2 says, I can't wait for UMass versus Army. Yes, you can. Strongest group of 5 conference in your opinion. MT, it's probably the Mountain West. I want to say the American and the Sun Belt, but it's probably the Mountain West. If you can look at the Mountain West and you got Air Force, Fresno State, Wyoming at the top 3 of that Mountain West, like that's nuts. Those are studly teams. Those are beast teams. Is Ehlers from ECU last year anywhere in the NFL? I believe he is. I haven't been checking. I believe he's on a practice squad somewhere. Did you hear about Sam Darnold potentially starting Sunday? Did not. Paguno, thanks for telling me. I'll be sure to start whatever defense is playing against him. Ehlers reminded me of Phillip Rivers on how he threw. Fair. Sunbelt carries my Saturdays. You must be from the South. Nobody else is saying that. Hey, guys, it's time to eat for me. I'm here to relax. We got a watch party in about an hour and a half. I'll see you guys at 7. Show up. MVPs welcome. Non-MVPs welcome. We'll be watching the games. Thanks for supporting the channel. And remember, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist. And it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it, I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do, to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never